And inflation is rising at its fastest rate in 40 years. The Consumer Price Index, which measures the cost of a broad range of everyday consumer goods, has surged 7.5% over the past year. President Joe Biden says the reason is, quote, the supply chains have been cut off, but economists say the picture is more complicated than that. Here's a little bit of what President Biden had to say about inflation earlier this week.
Families are getting clobbered by the cost of everyday things. You know, I know that gas and food prices are up. We're working to bring them down. I grew up in a family where the price of the pump was felt in the kitchen. So while we work on supply chains and we work on bringing down the cost of the things that we're talking about have gone up so high, we still have other ways we can reduce the burden on working class families.
And joining us now to share their insights are David Sekira, Chief U.S. Market Strategist for investment research firm Morningstar, and Philip Braun, an economist and professor of finance at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. Thank you both for being here. First to you, David Sekira. You heard President Biden blaming all of this on supply chain issues due to demand and the pandemic. Is that the full story?
Well, like anything else, there's always more to it than just that. But yes, the supply chain disruptions and the bottlenecks certainly have been a very large part of it. A big part of the inflation that we've seen have been in the consumer durable area, as well as the automotive sector, where the shortages that we've seen in semiconductors really have lowered the amount of supply coming there. But with demand still remaining high, we've seen prices there. And now we're starting to see that also leak into other areas. As he mentioned, some of the agricultural products and the food at home certainly has been rising as well.
Philip Braun, President Biden says he understands the pain, especially for working class citizens, and his administration wants to do something. But what are the tools that they have that can tackle this inflation?
Very little. The White House has very little control over inflation. Most of it is going to have, at this point, has to be managed by the Federal Reserve.
And to that issue, David Sekira, there's whispers that the Federal Reserve will meet and will raise rates multiple times over the next year. Do you anticipate that happening?
We do. And in fact, when you look at kind of the market implied expectations for the year, they've risen quite substantially over the past couple of months. So at this point, I think the market is really expecting them not only raise rates here in March, but raise rates pretty much every meeting for the rest of this year.
Philip Braun, should the Fed have been doing this all along? I mean, are they a little late to the table here, just given the fact that this has not been transitory inflation, it has persisted?
Yeah, very much so. So the Federal Reserve is behind the eight ball, and even today they're not being aggressive enough. The inflation currently is out of control. The Federal Reserve should, at this point, already be increasing inflation and interest rate targets, and they're not. And they should be in the future increasing interest rate targets at a very high clip.
And Philip Braun, are we anticipating about 1/4 point each time if they do it multiple times, or higher than that?
It's unclear at this point. So they say they're going to raise rates in March. The initial expectation was for 1/4 point, but there's some people talking maybe 1/2 point.
Philip Braun, as is always the case, it seems markets tend to get spooked by even the whispers of raising rates. So how do you believe markets will react to these interest rate hikes if they come?
They've already reacted, and that's a critical thing. Markets, to affect the economy, the interest rate increase really has to be a surprise. And so this 1/4 point that people are talking about is already embedded in the market. That's one of the reasons why the market's been declining.
David Sekira, does that mean that perhaps there won't be an unexpected dip when markets do rise, that they've been preparing for this, basically?
Well, they have, but I think, that's just one factor amongst many of what we've seen in the market decline thus far this year. So coming into 2022, in our outlook, we thought the markets were actually overvalued just purely on a valuation approach coming into the year. We noted that there were a number of different headwinds that the market was going to face. Tightening monetary policy, was one of those. Inflation running, much hotter than expected, rising interest rates. And then just the economy is going to be slowing this year. So again, we still expect the economy to come in at about 3.9%, pretty robust rate when you think about it on a historical basis, but slower than last year. So all of those factors combined together, I think, has helped push the market down. And then, as you mentioned, earlier, the global tensions in Ukraine, it's just another risk factor that we've had to add in.
And David Sekera, just a lot of competing factors pushing and pulling on the environment. You have higher inflation, but you have retail sales that were up 3.8% from December to January. So if Americans are so worried about inflation, why are they continuing to spend in such high numbers?
Well, I think you also have to remember, too, what the pandemic has caused. So over the past 2 years, we had a big shift in consumer spending. Spending historically had been more for services than goods, but with the pandemic, really not allowing people to go out and do some of the things that they had been doing in the past, we saw a big shift in that spending away from services and into goods. And in fact, that's part of what's causing, inflation now. Now, the good news is that we do believe that inflation will start to moderate in the second half of the year. Our inflation outlook for this year is going to be an average of 3.6% for the full year. And actually, when we look at next year, we think inflation probably dips below 2% before it goes back to more of a normalized 2% area thereafter.
It'd have to moderate quite a bit to get down from 7.5 down to 3.6%. Philip Braun, what are the ways that Americans feel these inflationary pressures the most? I mean, there are things like used car prices that are up 55%. Are there certain sectors that Americans tend to spend money in that are really higher than others?
They probably feel it the most at the grocery store, where meat prices, poultry prices have gone up dramatically. And that's probably where they feel it the most. But you're correct. New car prices are way up. But it's really, I think, in the grocery store where it's really felt.
And David Braun, you brought up the issue of labor shortages. I mean, there are more jobs out there than folks that are taking them right now. How does that impact inflationary pressures? And are wages keeping up with the demand for workers?
I'm sorry, who was that question directed to?
That was David Sekera. That's to you.
Okay. So we're definitely seeing, some increases in, the wages right now. We don't expect to see, like a wage price inflation, spiral in this, aspect. We do think that, as wages are increasing in the second half of this year, again, as consumer spending starts to normalize, as the pandemic recedes, this spring and into the summer, more people will go back to, the services that they've been spending money on in the past. We see lots of excess capacity in the markets in the services area. And then we also expect to see, those higher wages be able to bring more employees back into the workforce, that have been out of the workforce for the past 2 years. So that will also help alleviate, a lot of those inflationary pressures that we're seeing right now.
All right, well, we'll watch for that action from the Fed. And our thanks to David Sekera and Philip Braun. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, thank you.